Hello students, welcome to lAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about why Sheikh Hasina's opponents, as we are seeing in our neighboring country of Bangladesh, are targeting the legacy of Mujibur Rahman. Mujibur Rahman, who is also referred by the popular name of Bangabandhu, who is also considered as the founder of modern state of Bangladesh after it got its independence from the Pakistan. So why now the people of Bangladesh have turned against him, the person who has granted or helped him get the freedom. So let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, the reason why we are discussing about this particular topic, because very recently what we have seen is the historic residence of Sheikh Mujib, obviously in the capital city of Dhaka, that is also called as Dhanmondi region. Dhanmondi region is where the protesters have climbed up, they tried to demolish it, and also at the last they have, basically we can say, put it on the fire. Not only that, even more recently the statue of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has been dismantled and also it has been destroyed. So this entire phenomena, if you try to understand, that began after the departure of Sheikh Hasina from Bangladesh, after she was removed from the power by the protesters. We are witnessing what Sheikh Hasina has referred as bulldozer procession. So basically, the Chhatra League, it is a student league associated with the Awami League, the party led by Sheikh Hasina. And again, Sheikh Hasina is the daughter of the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So obviously, what she has stated this entire event as a bulldozer processes. On the other hand, you talk about the another student group known as Students Against Discrimination. They have referred the residence of the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman or any other legacy of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as pilgrimage site of fascism, because now they're equating Sheikh Hasina and her entire family, including Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, as what we can call as the creator of fascism in the state of Bangladesh. So while destroying this entire residence, destroying the statue, what the Student Against Discrimination stated that tonight Bangladesh will be freed from the grip of fascism. So this is the entire symbolism, if you try to understand why this incident has taken place. Now the significance is very, very important, and many experts will argue that this event can be considered as one of the watershed movement in the history of Bangladesh. The reason is because the Dhanmondi 32, the Dhanmondi area, the 32 is the house number obviously, was the residence of the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who is the founding father of the Bangladesh. Not only that, this place has a historic significance as far as the Bangladesh is concerned, because it is believed that it was here since 1960s till 1970s. What we have seen is the Bengali resistance against Pakistan. It was this place where he used to conduct meeting with his follower. It was this place where he used to strategize that how we should fight against the Islamic, not Islamic, but it's a Pakistani invasion in the state of Bangladesh. Now, the center of all Bangbandhu's political activities is this historic residence, and it was here that the renegade officers of Bangladesh army murdered Bangabandhu, his wife, sons, and even 10-year-old grandson. So you can understand this not only has a historic past from the perspective of political significance, it also has historic perspective, historic past, or the building has historical significance because it was here he was murdered, or more appropriately we can say assassinated. Now the reason why Sheikh Hasina and her sister were not subjected to same fate, because at the time of their assassination they were staying outside of the country. So in 1994, Hasina, when she came back to Bangladesh, she converted the building into a museum, so people can understand the role Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has played for the country. Now, if we try to briefly understand in more detail, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, also called as Bangbandhu, he dedicated his entire life in establishing a nation that is based on the principles of democracy. He wanted to have a peaceful state, a peaceful country. That is what he was aiming for. And also, he wanted to create a society that is free of exploitation. So, overall, if these characteristics can be developed in a country which is getting independence, that will be called as Sonar Bangla, Golden Bengal. That is how he has referred his dream as. Also, his life we talk about, obviously he was assassinated. So we can say he sacrificed his life in the liberation of the Bangladesh. That is why he is also called as the generator of Bengali nationalism and creator of the sovereign state of Bangladesh. Now, if you look at the politics of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, because this not only was something that we have seen in the early days of Bangladesh, his policy was something that also was carried forward by the Awami League party. So during earlier time, just after Bangladesh got its independence in the year 1971, he attempted to reshape the national character of Bangladesh because he wanted to de-link the Bangladeshi politics, the Bangladeshi culture, and the Bangladeshi societies and the way how it functions from the Pakistani tradition. Because if you remember, in the 1947, after India got independence, it was also split into three different parts. We have West Pakistan and then we have the East Pakistan. It was the East Pakistan where the West Pakistani Urdu speaking majority, we can say, were creating a lot of havocs and also were oppressing the Bengali speaking people, not in only the cultural sphere but also in the economic sphere as well as the political sphere. It was because of this continuous oppression the people of Bangladesh at that time decided that enough is enough, and under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, then they revolted, and with the help of the Indian military's intervention, they are able to gain back their independence. So basically, it is after this he wanted to totally de-link the Pakistan and Bangladesh as two different distinct nations based on two different founding principles. One was based on what we can call as one Bangladesh you talk about it has in Pakistan you talk about it has continuously been has seen so many coups. There was a lack of democracy as such, but Bangladesh he wanted to create a democratic nation. So a concerted effort to ostracize those also he undertook in those sections or echelons of Bangladeshi army who did not participate in the liberation war. Again, the liberation war here is being referred as the liberation from Pakistan. And also he wanted to contain and limit Islamist tendencies both in the polity and the military, because he did not want the religion to influence the political and military decision making. So these were the two major steps apart from the linking from Pakistani tradition. That is where policy was focused upon. Now, obviously, because of his such policies, he received a lot of pushback from the quarters of military specifically that ultimately led to the unfortunate assassination, and finally after this you also have a military coup on the lines of Pakistan in Bangladesh in 1975. Now, as a result of this coup, it was Ziaur Rahman, a military officer, who became the president of the Bangladesh. And then he began to take a completely divergent and different approach in terms of policies of Bangladesh. For example, he began to give more and more space, including even cabinet positions, to parties like Jamaat-e-Islami in mainstream politics. Jamaat-e-Islami, its inclusion in politics becomes significant because this is considered as a radical Islamic parties. Now, even after his death, his widow, if we talk about the Khalida Jia, another notable leader of Bangladesh who has been appointed as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh several years. So she formed a party called as Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and her party also continued the approach and policies of the Ziaur Rahman itself. Now in 2009, when Sheikh Hasina was elected back in the power, the first thing what she did was she clamped down on the Islamist parties, and also gradually she tried to improve her grip on the power and try to ensure that Islamist parties do not take part in politics anymore in the Bangladesh. So they are effectively removed from the electoral field. That also included arrest of the Khalida Jia, and she was put in the jail. She also targeted alleged Razakar is a very important term because this is a term that we are seeing being used many times in the student protests specifically that erupted in 2024 against Sheikh Hasina. So she said that alleged Rajakar is term she has used for those who have collaborated with the Pakistani state and were not in favor of Bangladesh getting its independence. So for their war crimes in 1971. So this is something that she did. Anyone, anytime protested against her, she termed them as a supporter of Rajakars or Rajakar themselves. Now, if you talk about the legacy of Mujibur Rahman, beyond reflecting the Bangabandhu's political vision, the Awami League party, the party led by Sheikh Hasina, relied heavily on the Mujib's legacy to legitimize Hasina's politics, which became increasingly controversial with each election, especially since 2014. So whatever good she did, much of what the Hasina administration did, good or bad, was in the Mujib's name. And that is why for Sheikh Hasina, her party, it became very critically important that the legacy of Mujibur Rahman should be preserved, and it is of paramount importance. And the example of this we can see from the passage of an act called as Digital Security Act in the 2018, where the section 21 clearly states that any propaganda or campaign against the liberation war of 1971, any propaganda or campaign against the father of the nation, obviously referring to her father Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Bangabandhu, will be penalized strictly. For example, the penalty was very significantly high. We can see imprisonment can last as long as 10 years, and even a person can have to pay a fine of up to 1 crore taka. Taka, as we know, is the currency of Bangladesh. So that is the clampdown or the crackdown, we can see, that was unleashed by Sheikh Hasina when he came into power. Now in 2024, we have a large scale protest erupting against general economic political discontentment among the people of Bangladesh, also related to the reservation quota, which many of the students were not in favor of specific reservation quota for the descendants of the freedom fighters. Again, freedom fighters here refer to the people who participated in 1971 liberation war. So anti-Hasina protest erupted in almost many part of Bangladesh, and in that case, anything and everything linked to the PM came under attack, because you know that Sheikh Hasina was known for a very amiable relationship, very good warm relationship with India. So her relationship with India was also targeted. Also, since she was the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, so Mujib's legacy was targeted as well. So people of Bangladesh rejected the very basis of what we can call as the Hasina's politics. And the most important of this was the authentic Bangladeshi nationalism that she claimed to have inherited because of the stellar contribution of her father. So this was completely rejected, and what we saw is that the dormant stage in which the fundamentalist and Islamist element were in Bangladesh, at least since last 1 decade after Sheikh Hasina came into power, they began to again find space in the protest, and also after protest they have begun to associate with the interim government as well. Now, what we can call as there were two forces at play here. One force, obviously, as we know, that the Bang Bandhu's role in creation of the state of Bangladesh. So the many of the Bangladeshi people revere Sheikh Mujib, but at the same time, the protesters were also very much repulsed and revulsed by the daughter's authoritarianism, that is Sheikh Hasina's way of conducting the government. So these two forces came into conflict with each other. And what we saw as a result is that the Bangladeshis' reverence for Mujibur Rahman was superseded by the protesters' repulsion and revulsion for the Sheikh Hasina's policy. And that is why Sheikh Hasina had no other option but to flee, because she lacked and she lost almost all the support from the major echelons of the government. Now, if we talk about the interim government that is being led by Muhammad Yunus, so his government also is believed to be targeting the Mujib's legacy, and the way of doing this is to ensure that their government get legitimacy in the eyes of the public. So a fresh and determined focus, what we are seeing today, is on undoing of the legacy of Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman, with all things associated with Mujib being characterized as symbols of fascism. And that is why now you can link it. In the beginning of the video, we discussed that Mujibur Rahman's statue was dismantled, Mujibur Rahman's house was put on fire and was destroyed. So why it is so? Because they consider this nothing but as a symbol of fascism, associating it with the Sheikh Hasina's government and policy. So the current government largely focus upon removal of any such kind of symbols. It has become a key part of government strategy to legitimize itself and sustain its rule. Also, this example of this we can understand from the fact that under the interim government, it has taken the decision to cancel 8 of the national holiday that were we can say instituted by the Sheikh Hasina regime, that was linked to the Mujibur Rahman. And this include cancelling of the August 15 as a national holiday. Why August 15 was classified as a national holiday? Because it was this day on which Mujibur Rahman was assassinated. So all these steps of the interim government shows that they are trying to completely dismantle the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as well as even possible Sheikh Hasina's grip on the power. So if the 2024 anti-Hasina protests targeted Hasina's father, the latest development are against what we can call as the Bangladesh's father of the nation. The strong downstream effect of the government's moves is that extremists, the like of whom destroyed Bangabandhu's house, now get a free hand to target Mujib. And this development, if it carries on, will not only create internal chaos in Bangladesh, but will also spill over in the neighboring countries such as India. And this is what India is largely concerned with, that if the Islamic forces, Islamist forces, we can say, the radical Islamist forces more precisely, get a free hand in Bangladesh, then they can create problems across the border in the India as well. And the example of this we have seen many times in the past. So this is all about this particular video. I hope you got the idea about the entire event surrounding the destruction of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's house, why it happened, and how it relates to the current and past politics of the Bangladesh. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.